Every year, the Susan G. Komen Northwest Ohio Race for the Cure honors the brave women who lost their lives to breast cancer. This year's race is in memory of Debbie Franceus, a woman who, during her life, reached new heights and is helping other women do the same even after her death.
Debbie was just a total amazing gal, one of a kind. Rugged and glamour in the same package. You could put a fishing pole in her hand, you could take her hiking, you could take her hunting.
Not a day goes by that Mike Francis doesn't look to the sky and think of his wife of 44 years.
I see her, no question about it.
Some of their best moments were spent up there, Mike piloting their plane, Debbie as co-pilot.
She'd say, let's go fly. She flew in the right seat with me for, over 1,000 hours over the years.
With a career as a nurse and caring for their 3 kids, Debbie was on the ground a little more than Mike back in those days, but eventually she too got her aviation license.
Honey, that was amazing, congrats!
So she was like biting at the bit. She'd say, hey, get out of the airplane, let me do this, because I've been watching you do this for 44 years. Getting your license is not a walk in the park. I mean, you're flying in an airplane, takes precision.
Their plan was to take to the sky as much as possible in their retirement, seeing the country and dropping in on grandkids together. But that wasn't in the stars for Debbie. Just 2 months after retiring from ProMedica in March of 2022, Debbie was diagnosed with the very aggressive triple-negative breast cancer.
She got kind of defiant about it. She said, I'm taking my sister and we're going on a cruise. And this is like right at her diagnosis. And I'm going, whoa, you're not going anywhere. She says, yeah, oh yeah, I am.
Debbie returned to tests, MRIs, chemo, and radiation. That year, Team Debbie held the Race for the Cure at their beloved airport.
The owner of the airport was gracious and said, hey, do your Komen walk at the airport. So we emptied out an airplane hangar and we set up tables and chairs and food and we did our Race for the Cure up and down the runway.
3 months later, at Christmas, it became clear to Mike and the kids that Debbie would not get better.
Shortness of breath, super fatigued. She would try to walk across the room, would wipe her out.
But her death, just weeks later, came as a shock.
If I showed you the text on the day that she passed, on January 12th, it was, hey, bring me 3 extra pairs of PJs, the one with the palm trees and the little doggies on them. I don't know how much longer I'll be in here. That was at 6:30 on the 12th.
Her lungs declined that day, and Debbie could no longer breathe.
She ended up dying at 4 o'clock that afternoon.
The way Debbie left the earth that day was the way she lived, with Mike by her side, guiding their way.
What should I do? I said, I think you should go be with God. That's what I said. Then she pointed at her port.
Wow.
And they came right over and they administered, a syringe of morphine into her. And she closed her eyes and I took the cannula off of her face and she looked beautiful. And within about a minute, took her last breath.
Once again, it was time for Debbie to soar on her own.
It kind of reminds me of how you guys were co-pilots together.
Yeah,
that's a good
point.
You're guiding the plane, she's sitting next to you for 44 years, and when it's time for her to make this life-altering decision, she wants to know what her co-pilot thinks.
Wow. I like that. It's nice.
Debbie's legacy lives on. Mike visits her nearly every day at the cemetery. When the chimes sound, she is there. Mike ran the Race for the Cure last year in Debbie's pink wig. and they both empower women with a love for flying in her name with a foundation and scholarship, the Debbie Franceus Memorial Aviation Foundation.
She would be thrilled because that was her mission. Her mission was to get more women flying.
Hello! Wow! I made it!
I guess you did.
And now, the Race for the Cure is in memory of his co-pilot.
She's saying, I can't believe you're doing all this in my honor. Number one, I'm mad at you over that because I'm not as great as you're making me look. And I would say to her, no, you're way wrong. You are that great. You're so great, you didn't even realize it. And I get the opportunity now to bring your greatness out to the world.
Thank you so much, Mike, for sharing your story with us. You can catch our full coverage of this year's Race for the Cure Sunday morning starting at 8:30. We'll bring you inspiring stories from survivors, memories of those we've lost, and a look at the wave of support it takes to put on an event like this each and every year. Join us Sunday morning only on WTOL 11.